Hello once again, Niner Faithful, and also welcome to any Packers fans that may be joining us. This is 49ers Playbook on the channel that's trying to answer the whys and hows of the game. This past weekend, the Packers routed the Cowboys en route to facing the 49ers in Santa Clara in the divisional round. With the Packers winning in such dominating fashion, it's begged the question, can the 49ers slow down this offensive attack by the Packers and put up enough points to move on to their fourth NFC Championship game in 5 seasons? First, I want to thank all of our Patreon supporters and also the members of JFA49.com. They are the backbone of the channel and help make these videos possible. We just published the first of our channel exclusive content that will be growing a lot during the off season, and also where you can get access to all the in-season videos ad-free. You can head over to JFA49.com to become a member today, and when we reach 50 members, we'll be raffling off the Handyman electric razor from Manscaped, a $90 value, to one lucky member. Thank you for joining them if you can. But regarding the scouting tape, I watched a ton of Green Bay's film, and just so I'm clear with any Packers fans watching, this video is not meant to diminish the Packers or seem like I'm cherry picking clips. There's only so much time to put a video like this together, and these clips represent a summary of what I've seen from film. The Packers are a talented team that's been playing well. San Francisco will have to be on the details to come out of the game with a win. But let's jump to the film and see how the 49ers can take down the Pack to advance one step closer to a Super Bowl. You're watching Johnny Dell's Football Academy. So after watching the tape from the Dallas game, I was almost shocked at how bad Dallas's defense played. Again, that's not meant to take anything away from Green Bay, but there was just some plain old bad defense being put out on the field. So first, I'm going to cover why the Packers were able to light up the scoreboard. Then we'll cover what the 49ers have to do on offense to move the ball. So early on, you could see Dallas was having some issues on defense. The Cowboys are showing a half-field safety with Curse, and the Packers have a dagger concept dialed up, which is a seam or post route paired with a dig, or what Kyle would call a widened over, which is something I go into detail about with our new channel exclusive content. After the run fake, you can see Dallas is in Tampa 2 zone. I'm not sure why Love doesn't let this ball rip early. The read should be once you see the mic clear out with the seam route, you hit the dig in behind it. He's reading a curl route to the other side. But this is where I'm not 100% sure how Quinn wants this played. But teams will play this one of two ways. Either, once Curse sees the clearing route break in, pull off, and drive on anything coming over the intermediate middle, or Gilmore needs to match the inbreaker. Instead, he just gets turned loose. Love is pretty late on this throw. If Dallas either gets any decent pressure or matches this the way they're supposed to, the throw is so late it shouldn't be a completion. So I'm working through some of the big plays sequentially, but a lot of what I saw in the run game was Dallas getting out of their gaps. Dallas, like San Francisco, plays a one-gap defense. They're coming with a slant on the line here, and while most of the runs you'll see are on Dallas, this one is created by a pretty blatant hold by the left guard. But for Green Bay's first score, you're going to see the start of a pattern: poor gap integrity. The Packers are running a split zone, and the Cowboys are again going to go with an exchange on a slant from Lawrence. He'll slant into the A gap, with Curse responsible for the B gap. But once Curse reads run, he attacks too far inside and gets driven out of his hole. Then this next play was all sorts of messed up. Before the snap, you can see the safety trying to correct Gilmore on something and get him in the right spot. They're showing man coverage, but post-snap are going to drop into a zone. You can see the communication going on for a while. The Packers are running a double dig concept with a deep clearing route. Again, Love makes this harder than it needs to be. He's got a clean pocket, and the read should be on Gilmore and the safety. If they pick up the inside dig, you throw the second. He's able to get the ball to the right read, but again, really late. But after the play, you can see the same safety telling Gilmore that was his man. He was supposed to deliver the dig route. Most of the time, sacks are a marriage of good pass rush and good coverage. Here, you have bad both. Then the Packers get set up at goal to go with more gap integrity problems. The Packers are running a wide receiver screen here, and DaRon Bland is responsible to be the outermost defender. He cannot allow any run outside of him. The Cowboys have numbers against this, but Bland tries to slip inside and gives up the edge. No edge, no chance. Next, the Packers get an explosive pass. I will say, Jordan Love does a much better job of throwing this ball on time, but there's still some assignment issues here. So the Cowboys are in their matching 3 zone. The Packers are running a Seattle concept with an outside post route paired with a deep out route, and they also add in a fade on the outside. Here's the problem. Jordan Lewis plays this like he's in man covering a through or deep over route. The way Dallas plays this, that route should get picked up by a backside defender. He needs to maintain outside leverage on this route. He breaks inside and gives up massive separation to the outbreaking route. Even if he was supposed to match, he's got safety help deep inside. That's real poor technique and Love, and the Packers are a team you can't afford to have these kind of lapses against. Then the Packers get a big touchdown, and this is a real nice play by Jordan Love. So the Cowboys tip their hand early on this play. A little surprised they don't check out once they see Love get them to tip it and then check the play. But what he's doing is he's going to motion the outside receiver in, which will cause an assignment swap. Keep Gilmore outside and run a basic route paired with a Skinner route, which is a post route with a nod at the top of the stem. With no middle safety and a great throw by Love, it's a touchdown. Next, you're going to see the Cowboys get hit with another explosive, this time on a Yankee return. So a staple concept for the Shanahan system that LaFleur runs is a Yankee concept. You have a deep post paired with a high crosser. Here they're going to run a high crosser return, breaking back outside at the top of the stem. Like we saw in the earlier play, Gilmore sees it, thinks he's got to jump on the route, undercuts it, and then turns back to locate the ball for a possible pick. But he's guessing on the route, takes his eyes off the receiver, and blows his coverage. One thing we've seen from our corners since we've gotten here is that Shanahan does not like our guys jumping and undercutting routes like this. He'd rather they stay in the hip pocket, ready to undercut when the ball is thrown, not guess. Gilmore guessed wrong here. Then they get a touchdown and more gap problems. The Packers are again just running a split zone. The linebacker, 33, he guesses though. He's going to see the tight end action across the formation and thinks the guy is going out into the flat. And he looks to jump the tight end on a flat route, gives up his gap in the run game, and it's a touchdown for Green Bay. Then there's more problem. So the Packers are running a zone reverse here. This will look like a wide zone and they'll have a wind back block. 58, the defensive tackle, he's either got to play this where he's going to get to the guard and let Wilson exchange a gap with him, or hold down his gap and drive his man into the hole. He gets caught in no man's land here and just leaves his gap. This, paired with Micah Parsons not trying to set an edge, gives up a huge lane. And another big run. So this is now the domino effect. The Packers are again going to give this split zone action look, and now Bell, once he sees the tight end come across the formation, doesn't trust his guys to make the play, leaves his gap, and this is a gaping hole in the defense. This isn't because all the guys executed their blocks perfectly and they accounted for everyone in the run game. This is from a player leaving his gap. I'm sure the Packers fans want me to give all the credit to Green Bay. Look, they did their jobs, they made the plays that were there, but so many of these problems are just bad defense. Then the Packers put the nail in the coffin with the old Shanahan staple, the Y leak. So early in the game, I saw that the Cowboys were covering the slide concept, the base of this play, by having the backside corner match a crossing route. So Green Bay is going to look to attack by running a slide concept with a tight end leaking out on the backside. Again, poor eye discipline. So Wilson is responsible for the tight end in coverage. He gets his eyes in the backfield and then moves to account for Love on a rollout. You're not going to see a guy more open than this ever. So moving to the other side of the ball, the biggest strength of the Packers defense has been their ability to create some turnovers. Dallas has a variation on a smash concept dialed up. Kyle calls this flag, with a corner route paired with a drag China. Green Bay is in banjo coverage here. That's where it's man coverage but a post-snap matching. Instead of being assigned a receiver pre-snap, when teams are in a bunch formation like this and switch releases are common to create rubs against man, they will pick up the number 1 or 2 or 3 based off the post-snap final release. So even though Cooks is the number 2 pre-snap, post-snap he'll be the number 1 and Alexander will pick him up. It's not a bad route versus man coverage. Alexander does a great job, but Cooks just allows himself to get knocked off his route. So when Cooks breaks back inside, Alexander gets really physical and forces him on a flatter inside break than Prescott is expecting and just wins to the ball. Great job there, something the 49ers receivers need to be ready for. This second interception is 100% on Dak. First, this is a common play for McCarthy. I'm not a huge fan and it's something that Kyle really never runs, but it's a triple slant. Green Bay is showing a 2 safety look, but with the linebacker traveling, that's a strength change. That should tell you, be alert to a blitz. Pair this with Walker walking up, he should be alert for a fire zone blitz. From there, he should be reading the outside 2 slants. At the snap, you'll see the defense drop into a fire zone with Savage coming down. Dak should be reading outside, throw the outside slant. Instead, he locks in on the inside guy, sees the blitz, and never sees Savage sitting over the middle. Well, okay, there's a lot of things we've seen. How do you slow down this Packers offense? First, you have to stop the run. That's going to mean good gap discipline and not letting Green Bay's guards consistently get to the second level. Tampa Bay did a real nice job shutting down the run at times against the Packers. Here, Green Bay is trying to run an inside zone. First, notice how Vita Vea eats up a double team. That's what Javon Hargrave and Armstead have to do. Second, if we take it back, they're going to run an exchange like we saw Dallas try to do, but they're disciplined with it. Levante David fills the exchange quickly, stuffing the gaps. Third, with a threat of QB run action, they bring a player off the edge to disrupt the read. These are all tools Steve Wilks has used very effectively at times throughout the year. On another drive, the Packers are now running duo. It's similar to an inside zone, but that's a whole long topic in itself. But against duo, the linebackers have to be aggressive. The line is trying to create vertical movement and let the running back pick a hole, but they read it well and fill quickly. This is what San Francisco needs to do. Don't let them get the run game going, then the play action game. Like San Francisco, Green Bay's drop back game isn't as extensive. They like to run the ball, run play action. Drop back is a change of pace, but not a heavy diet of it. And what about when we're not at the goal line? Here you're going to see Green Bay with their version of the wide zone. They love it with this split flow action. The key on these is those backside linebackers have to stay home. They have to stay disciplined. We saw Dallas wasn't. Here, Tampa does a good job at the point of attack, and the backside linebacker stays home and shuts down the run. So on the other side of the ball on offense, it starts with running the ball, and Green Bay can be run on. Here, this is just an inside zone, and this play is a staple in the Shanahan system as well. You run inside zone. Sometimes we do this with counter tray, but then have a wide receiver screen as an RPO. The read is on the linebacker. If he stays out, you hand it off. If he stays in, you throw it out. He stays out, so it's a handoff. You can see how effective the run can be with a physical style. Now imagine Christian McCaffrey and Elijah Mitchell running these. Then, because it worked earlier, now they run it with CeeDee Lamb in the backfield. Again, imagine this with Deebo Samuel running the ball. So now here's Dallas running wide zone. They're able to execute reach blocks on the interior defensive line and exploit the point of attack for a big gain on first down. These are bread and butter runs for the 49ers, and you're seeing they were there for Dallas. Dallas just didn't commit to the run game. So when the run game is working, you can hit them with counters. This is another run that Shanahan uses extensively. You make this look like a split zone with the tight end coming across in kick out action, but then have him lead around on a wide receiver reverse. The key is look how aggressive Walker and Savage are. This play probably should have gone for a bigger gain. Imagine Deebo Samuel running this play. We've all seen how physical and explosive he is on these runs, but this was a play the Cowboys lifted straight from the Panthers. Let's look at this. Tight splits, tight end away from the two receiver side, receiver in motion towards the tight end, wide receiver and tight end leads around. With the Panthers, the play is just flipped. Green Bay got bit by it against the Panthers. The Cowboys ran it, should have gotten more, still got a decent gain. I can guarantee you Kyle Shanahan will run this play on Sunday. Watch out for it. Another thing I noticed was how Green Bay drops their undercoverage off run action. This will be a big game for Kittle and McCaffrey to catch some passes between the numbers and the hashes. I saw this over and over and over again. Whenever the undercoverage was recovering from a run fake, their landmarks are right down the hashes. Kyle loves to run play action and hit these drift routes between the hashes. Look for some adjustments there. But one thing Joe Barry loves to do is bring an extra rusher. I saw them run fire zones a ton, which is a 3 deep, 3 underneath zone blitz with a 5-man pressure. This is real similar to how Baltimore plays a lot of their base defense. That does mean though that since you only have one middle field undercoverage player who's shaded to the 3 receiver side, that you'll have opportunities for some plays over the middle against their base defense. Here, Minnesota is coming with a Shanahan staple. That's hard play action, and Shanahan's is a little more shallow. It's a 7-step in or drift route, but you'll see how the run fake completely sucks up the underneath middle defender, and you have a guy wide open. Here we are against Baltimore. Like I said, they ran a lot of fire zone from base as well. We're going to run a drive concept to the 2 receiver side with Kittle and McCaffrey. Purdy looks off the 3 receiver hook to the side he's shaded to, and you have Kittle wide open over the middle. Then another thing I noticed is the way Barry has them play their cover 3 zone. This does leave the seam areas vulnerable. Here the Cowboys are running a verticals concept. Dak predetermines this throw though. But with the safety shaded away, he should look to hit the seam route. You can see his tight end is there almost immediately, but Dak is locked in on the outside and it's a missed opportunity. But the Panthers went after it. Here they have a variation on a verticals with a go route outside paired with a stick go. It'll look like a stick route and go vertical. You can see that at the snap, the safety bailed to the middle of the field. Bryce Young did a nice job looking the safety off and hit the tight end down the seam. It's there, it wasn't just in the Dallas game. This is a play we've seen Brock Purdy make. Here we're going to have a verticals concept paired with McCaffrey on a choice out China. Same thing, middle safety, Brock does a good job of looking the safety off and hitting George down the seam. But against this defense, you have to be on your execution because they will make you pay. Here the Vikings throw a pick, and this is just poor execution by the quarterback. They're running a mesh concept, which is a man beater, and the Packers end up in zone. The third read, and where you want to work if the defense is in a 3 zone, is the attack route. It's a route that will sit over the middle and then work to space. They've got it open, but the quarterback locks in on his number 1 read, never moves off, and makes a poor throw that ends up in a pick. Thankfully, Brock has been superb in his ability to see and read the defense this year. Overall, I really like San Francisco's matchup this week. They should be able to run the ball with McCaffrey and Debo, get the play-action game going against Green Bay's base defense, and then on the other side, stop the run and force Jordan Love to beat you with his arm, making on-time throws. But let me know how you're feeling about this game in the comments. If you liked the video, like and subscribe if you haven't already. If you think I'm way off, let me know. Bear in mind, I did watch about 15 or more hours of film this week, so I may debate back with you. In the end, it'll be a great weekend of football, and hopefully we see our Niners make it to their 3rd straight NFC Championship game. But until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, and go Niners.